think we're going again. Okay, so you'd be forgiven for thinking this is probably the most boring video ever of a bloke splodging around, and you'd be right. I'm going to put in some of the lines here. Sometimes, just again a little bit of, I'm just going to put in some of these bits of, now the bank's going to come down underneath the foliage, so be aware of that and just block in this. Now notice how the ground, again you can see the thinness, slightly, again a little bit of spirit in there. Now this is a King's Blue Pale, touch of Dioxazine Purple. Okay, all I'm doing is I'm kind of making a shadowy purpley, okay, little bit of burnt umber in there. Oh no, that's too much burnt umber in there. Hang on, be good if I knew what I was doing. Darker here, just a little bit. Again, hint of, oh dear, a hint of, I was going to say turpentine, hint of hope. And it's a little bit of a kind of diagonal going in there like that, and we're going to connect the lane. Look, it goes under and through those kind of grasses there, and even come off a little bit. That doesn't matter too much. It's just connect it all up, come through there. Sun comes out and probably ruins the video. There we are, we'll live. A little bit of that there, and and then we'll faff. Gonna have to, and I look at the state of that. I'm just gonna oh dear, get rid of that bit. You've got carried away there, Manny. Just smaller brush. Just go in there, get that back, get in there, get that back in there, get that back there. Connect that up a bit. I'm going to come back to the diagonal and there, a little bit like that, a little bit like that. Have we got away with it? Crikey. Doing alright before that. Where's my just used black brush? A second. I'm still got a tiny bit of spirit in this, but not much. I'm just going to put that back in there. Keep it. As I say, keep on sweating. Now keep it on the, and that's going to connect. Just that. Okay. Just okay. Get rid of that. Oops. Get rid of that. How are we doing? What's his name? Ross never had all this problem, but he didn't know exactly what he was doing. Okay. Now this is lovely terre verte again. Now terre verte, depends on the manufacturers, can be a lot grayer. I would say a lot more earthy than this, really. But it seems to suit our purposes. We're just gonna, again, I'm gonna start to weave in. Now I'm not using any turpentine. I've got my base in, so I'm not going to use too much turpentine. I'm going to start to put in my kind of mediums. We've got a couple of trees to pick out here, so it wouldn't harm just to little bits in around and through. And there is a danger, by the way. I've done the odd demo in art classes here, and there's a danger of bringing a photograph in and putting it alongside your work as you're painting, and it's a simple danger. Some people expect you to make a facsimile with paint. Well, you can see how I'm splodging, and if this somehow created a facsimile, then oh my lord, it wasn't me who did it. Nothing wrong with that, but it ain't me really. Okay, so look, just sort of, now I'm holding the brush, can you see, right down the end. If you've got a long handled brush, use the handle. Don't, try and be all kind of too precise here, because you'll end up faffing a bit. And come down the handle like that, all the way down, and it lightens up your, Okay, so the stage we're at now is to, well, basically I would say we're sort of halfway-ish. I hope the light's not too strong. Now, we've got this section here to come in. Oh, hello, B. This section here coming down in a kind of the center here. We've got some highlights through here to go in. We need to set up this lovely soft angle through here and then paler here. Okay, and we talked about these umbels when we were in the lane before. See, this is very, very bright here, and then that one's a tone down from there. And we say a tone down, basically it's a little bit darker. I would suggest using some of the green here and maybe even some of these purples and blues mixed into white, just to get that pushed back sort of behind here into the shadow. But I think the first thing I'm going to do in this little stage is maybe just put a couple of lines in, just to kind of set this thing here. So I'm going to look about here and maybe even widen this lane a little bit. Okay, so I've got my favorite little fine brush just for this bit, and I've mixed up a tint. Again, a tint is anything that sort of starts with a white base, and I'm using a little tiny bit of burnt sienna in there as well. And all I'm going to really do is just kind of put a little bit in here over the bump in there, and maybe just a touch here. And then maybe even paler and warmer, using a touch of Naples yellow. Naples yellow is, oh, it's just, you know, when you get a nice bit of butter, I always think of it as kind of a buttery yellow, warm, sunny, and it works very well against a bit of, now I'm going to put a bit of that in there, so you've got almost a brighter one there. Dee. Oh, I like paint. And keep your lines, I'm going to sound very bossy now, keep your lines, for goodness sake, keep these bits thin, skinny. You're just hinting. If you go too wide, you're going to lift up the lane at an angle, and you're pushing it away from you. So just put a bit in here and there, a little bit wider, and I'm just going to trickle bits and bobs here, so on and so forth. And there's a little bit of a ruttedness to it. See how it, there we are. I know I should come, so on and so forth. Now if you think you're faffing, I don't know if it translates all that well, but anyway, faffing means fiddling too much. Fiddle-faddling, I think one of my lovely painters once said, fiddle-faddling. I think she's from Derbyshire. Anyway, sometimes you can hold a brush like a pencil and you work, you know, and sometimes lengthen, and then if you're fiddle-faddling, faffing, touching around too much, go for a bigger brush. And I'm going to cool this down a little bit here and there. So I've got a touch of mauve, which is a Dioxazine purple. You can just use any kind of purple with a bit of whites, really, or white really, with a bit of purple. And that's going to work as a cooler kind of a touch there. Not quite as sunny, so where the sun just fades away a bit. Not quite as bright. So like a half light almost, just. So it's not quite as, I'll keep that nice and level there. And it can almost sort of weaves in amongst that there.